If this found you right now, stop whatever you're doing and lean in. This isn't random. It's not luck. It's not the algorithm. It's providence aligning in your favor, and your moment has finally arrived. I know you've heard this before. I know you've watched other videos, read other books, tried other methods, but something is different now. Something has shifted within you. And in the next few minutes, you will understand why everything that has happened in your life up to this exact second was necessary to prepare you for what comes next. Napoleon Hill dedicated 25 years of his life to studying the wealthiest and most powerful people on earth. He sat with Theodore Roosevelt, John D. Rockefeller, and King Gillette. He uncovered a pattern, a secret code that all these individuals shared. And you know what he found? That there are no accidents. That when you're truly prepared, when your mental frequency finally locks into prosperity, the universe has no choice but to deliver what you need to know. And this, right here, right now, is exactly that. It's the answer you've been pleading for, even if you didn't know you were asking. Earl Nightingale dedicated 40 years of his life teaching these very truths. He reached millions across the globe. And you know what his core message was? That people don't fail from a lack of talent. They fail from a lack of understanding, from not realizing they are already equipped. And you are equipped now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. If you're hearing my voice at this moment, it's because something inside you has already turned. Something has already realigned. And what I'm about to share with you will accelerate that shift in a way you have never before experienced. Let me ask you a question, and I need you to be brutally honest with yourself. How many times have you felt you were on the brink of something massive, close to a real breakthrough in your finances, only to watch it somehow crumble? How many times have you started with fire in your belly, with conviction, believing this time would be different, only to find yourself 6 months later in the same place, maybe even deeper in the hole? And you know the truth nobody tells you? It wasn't your fault. It wasn't a lack of hustle. It wasn't because you aren't capable or smart enough. It was because you didn't have the complete awareness. You didn't understand the real game being played. But that ends now. There's a principle Napoleon Hill called the definite chief aim. And here's what most people completely miss about this principle. It's not just about having a goal. It's not about writing a to-do list. It's about cultivating a clarity so absolute, so crystalline about what you want, that the cosmos must reorganize reality itself to deliver it to you. But here is the obstacle. Most people never reach that level of clarity. You know why? Because of fear. Hill identified the 6 basic fears that hold humanity back: the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. You are afraid to truly want something, afraid to admit how deeply you desire prosperity, afraid of being judged, afraid of outgrowing the people you love. And this is where self-sabotage begins. You don't even see it, but there's a part of you actively working against your own goals. Earl Nightingale called this your strangest secret, that we become what we think about all day long. These are mental paradigms, programs installed in your subconscious since childhood. Programs that whisper, money is evil, that wealthy people are corrupt, that you don't deserve more than your parents had, that it's selfish to want abundance while others struggle. And these programs, these unconscious beliefs, they control 95% of your actions. You can consciously want wealth, but subconsciously sabotage every single opportunity that comes your way. So let me ask you again, why do you think this found you now? Why did something inside you scream to click, to watch, to pay attention? It's because you are ready to shatter these paradigms. You are ready to see the truth. You are ready to finally Align your conscious and subconscious mind in the same direction. And when that happens, when these two powers work in concert instead of fighting each other, there is nothing in this universe that can stop you from manifesting the reality you desire. Now I want you to do something with me. I want you to pause for 1 second and think about the last year of your financial life. Think of the opportunities that surfaced. Think of the ideas you had. Think of the moments you felt that nudge, that intuition telling you to move. And now, be honest. How many times did you act? How many times did you actually follow that impulse? And how many times did you pause, hesitate, doubt, and procrastinate until the moment vanished? If you recognize this pattern in your life, type, "I see the pattern," in the comments. Because the first step toward transformation is awareness. It's recognizing what is actually happening. Napoleon Hill discovered something fascinating in his study of the world's most successful people. He found they all shared one common trait. They acted with applied faith. Not hope, not passive optimism, but faith in motion. They acted as if the outcome they desired was already a certainty, even when they had zero physical evidence. They believed before they saw. They invested before they had guarantees. They took the step before they knew the entire path. And you know what happened? The path revealed itself. Resources appeared. The right people emerged from nowhere. Opportunities materialized. But here is what the majority does. They wait to see before they believe. They wait for guarantees before they act. They want to know the whole staircase before taking the first step. And you know what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because the universe, the law of attraction, the energy that governs all manifestation, only responds to applied faith. It only responds to motion. You cannot think your way to wealth. You have to walk. You have to move. You have to take the step even when it's terrifying, even when it seems impossible, even when everyone around you is calling you crazy. Earl Nightingale taught that we live in a universe based on law, not opinions, not emotions, law. And one of those laws is that you will never change your life by merely changing what you do. You have to change who you are. You have to change your identity. Because here is the brutal truth. You cannot live $1 million life by acting like a $1,000 person. You cannot attract abundance while thinking thoughts of scarcity. You cannot manifest wealth if you still see yourself as broke, as a struggler, as a victim of circumstance. I know it can feel overwhelming. I know it can seem impossible to change how you see yourself when everything around you reflects the old reality. But here's the secret that changes everything. You don't have to change it all at once. You don't have to wake up tomorrow as a completely different person. You only need to make one decision, one definitive, irrevocable decision that you will no longer accept the life you have, that you deserve more, that you are more. And then you start acting from that new identity, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it feels fake at first. Now, let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you want to manifest an extra $50,000 this year. The person you are right now, with your current mindset and habits, does not generate an extra $50,000. Otherwise, you'd already have it. So the question is not how to get $50,000. The question is, who do you need to become for $50,000 to be a natural, inevitable part of your reality? What kind of person attracts that? How did they think? What decisions did they make? How did they invest their time? And then you start acting as that person now, before you have the money, before you see the results. This is what Napoleon Hill called autosuggestion. It's you deliberately programming your subconscious with the reality you want to create instead of accepting the programming installed by others, by society, by your family. When you do this consistently, when you bombard your subconscious with the new identity, something magical begins to happen. Your behavior changes, your decisions change, the opportunities you notice change, and suddenly what seemed impossible begins to feel inevitable. Earl Nightingale taught a concept he called the magic word attitude. The idea is simple but profound. Most people think about their problems. They wake up thinking about bills, about debt, about limitations. And what do they manifest? More problems, more bills, more debt, more limitations.
Because the universe doesn't judge. It doesn't care if you're focusing on what you want or what you don't want. It just gives you more of what you pour your attention and energy into. So here is the shift. Instead of thinking about the problem, you start thinking from the solution. Instead of focusing on the lack, you focus on the abundance that is coming. Instead of visualizing debt, you visualize financial freedom. And it's not just passive visualization like watching a movie. It's visualization with emotion, with feeling. It's allowing yourself to feel now how you will feel when you have the reality you desire. Because here is the secret. The universe doesn't respond to your thoughts. It responds to your feelings. It responds to your vibration. How many patterns of self-sabotage have you recognized in your life up to this point? Be brutally honest with yourself and type the number in the comments, because awareness is the first step. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge. You cannot transform what you refuse to see. And the simple act of recognizing it, of admitting it, of writing it in the comments, that alone breaks the pattern. That alone initiates the shift. Now, I want to talk about something Napoleon Hill discovered that completely altered my understanding of success. He found that all extremely successful people had what he called a mastermind alliance. They didn't do it alone. They surrounded themselves with people who thought bigger, who dreamed bigger, who vibrated at a higher frequency. And here is what happens. When two or more minds coordinate in harmony toward a definite purpose, it creates a third, invisible mind that is greater than the sum of its parts. But you know the problem? Most people are surrounded by minds that think small, by people who are comfortable in scarcity, by well-meaning family who love you but fear your transformation because it forces them to look at their own stagnation. It's not their fault. They were programmed the same way you were. But here is the hard truth. If you want different results, you need different influences. You need to start consuming content that elevates your consciousness. You need to start surrounding yourself with people, even virtually, who are already living the reality you want to create. And that is why this space exists. This channel is not just entertainment, it is your virtual mastermind alliance. Every video you watch, every teaching you absorb, every principle you apply, you are surrounding yourself with the frequency of abundance. You are reprogramming your subconscious. You are raising your vibration. And when you do this consistently, when you commit to your growth, the universe has no choice but to respond. If you are committed to this transformation, if you want to be part of this community of people choosing abundance, click subscribe now. And if you want to go even deeper, if you want access to exclusive content, consider becoming a channel member. Because the more you invest in your growth, the faster the transformation happens. Now, I want to talk about a principle that Earl Nightingale taught for decades that most people never fully grasp. He called it going the extra mile. And here's what it means. Most people do exactly what is expected of them, no more, no less. They work the minimum required. They deliver just enough to not get fired. They do the basics. And you know what they receive? The basics. A median salary, a median life, median results. But the people who manifest real wealth, real abundance, they always do more than is expected. They always deliver more value than they receive in payment. They always go beyond. And here is what happens when you adopt this principle. You change your vibration. You stop being a person who is trying to take as much as possible and become a person who is constantly giving, serving, adding value. And the universe, governed by the law of compensation, always balances the scales. Always. You cannot consistently give more than you receive. The universe will find a way to compensate you. It always does. So here's a question for you to reflect on. In what area of your life can you start going the extra mile today? Where can you start delivering more value than you are receiving? It could be in your job, your business, your relationships, or even in your personal growth, studying more, learning more, developing yourself more than anyone around you. When you start doing this, when you adopt the extra mile as a lifestyle, you become a magnet for opportunity. People start to notice you, doors begin to open, synchronicities start to occur. Speaking of synchronicities, let me share something that will make you see your life in a completely new way. Synchronicities are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are the universe showing you that you are on the right path. They are signs that your vibration is aligning with what you want to manifest. The more you pay attention to them, the more you acknowledge and give thanks for them, the more they happen. It's like tuning a radio. The clearer the tuning, the stronger the signal. So think about it. In the last few weeks, how many small coincidences have happened in your life? How many times did you think of someone and they called? How many times did you need specific information and it appeared out of nowhere? How many times did you feel a nudge to do something and upon doing it, discovered it was exactly what you needed? These are not accidents. They are the universe orchestrating your reality. They are the physical evidence that the law of attraction is working. They are the proof that you are manifesting, even if you don't yet have the grand results you desire. And here is something crucial Napoleon Hill discovered. He found that faith is not something you either have or you don't. Faith is something you develop through evidence. Small evidence, micro wins, synchronicities. Every time you pay attention to a small manifestation and give thanks for it, you strengthen your faith. And the stronger your faith, the more powerful your capacity for manifestation. It's a virtuous cycle. But most people break the cycle by ignoring the small manifestations while waiting for the big one. They fail to see that the big manifestations are made of thousands of small, aligned manifestations. Which principle from Napoleon Hill or Earl Nightingale is speaking loudest to you right now? Tell me in the comments. Because when you name what is resonating, when you put it into words, you anchor that knowledge deeper into your subconscious. You turn information into transformation.
Now, I need to talk about something that might be uncomfortable, but is absolutely essential for your shift. You must confront your relationship with money. Not the relationship you think you have, but the real unconscious relationship that was installed in you since childhood. Because here is the truth. If you grew up hearing that money doesn't grow on trees, that you have to work brutally hard for everything, that rich people don't get into heaven, that money is the root of all evil, then you have a scarcity program so deep that no matter how many manifestation techniques you learn, you will continue to sabotage your results. Earl Nightingale always said that money is neutral. Money is energy. Money is a tool. What makes money good or bad is the intention of the person using it. But if you subconsciously believe money is bad, that rich people are wicked, that prosperity is a sin, then your subconscious will do everything to keep you away from money. Because at the deepest level, it's trying to protect you from becoming a bad person. It's trying to keep you pure, good, and safe. But in doing so, it keeps you poor. So here is what needs to happen. You must consciously reprogram your relationship with money. You must start to see money as a blessing, as a tool to bless others, as a spiritual responsibility, as a way to expand your impact on the world. And every time a negative thought about money arises, you must consciously replace it. Every time you catch yourself thinking, wanting money is greed, replace it with, I deserve abundance so I can be a greater blessing. Every time you think, I don't deserve this, replace it with, I am a child of the Creator of the universe and abundance is my birthright. This is autosuggestion. This is mental reprogramming, and it works. But you have to do it consistently. You have to do it every day. You have to do it especially when you don't feel like it, because that is exactly when the deepest transformation occurs. It's when you act against the old pattern that you break the pattern. And here is something that will set you completely free. Prosperity is not about accumulation. Prosperity is about circulation. It's about being a channel through which the universe's abundance flows. When you understand this, when you truly embody this, the guilt vanishes because you aren't taking from anyone. You are channeling. You are being an instrument. And the more open you are, the less resistance you have, the more can flow through you. And the more that flows through you, the more you can give, the more you can serve, the more you can impact. Napoleon Hill wrote about this when he spoke of the law of compensation. He said you will always be compensated in direct proportion to the value you deliver multiplied by the number of people you serve. So if you want to increase your abundance, you have two levers. Increase the value you deliver or increase the number of people you serve. Ideally, both. And here is the beautiful part. When you focus on serving, on adding value, on making a difference, the money comes as a natural byproduct. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to force it. It flows to you naturally. But most people do the opposite. They focus on the money. They wake up thinking about money. They go to bed thinking about money. And you know what happens? The more they chase money, the more it eludes them. Because that energy of need, of desperation, of lack repels abundance. It's like trying to hold water in a clenched fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you relax, when you trust, when you focus on serving, the money flows naturally into your open hands. If you're ready to transform your financial reality once and for all, if you are ready to leave the scarcity mindset behind and embrace the mindset of abundance, type I am ready in the comments right now, because this public declaration, this commitment, activates something in the universe. It sends a clear signal that you are ready for the next phase of your journey. Now I want to talk about a concept that Earl Nightingale taught that literally changed my life. He spoke of vibration and frequency. Here is the idea. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your body is energy, your thoughts are energy, your emotions are energy, and money is energy. And here is the law. Energies of similar frequency attract each other. So if you want to attract money, you need to vibrate at the frequency of money. You need to think like someone who has money. You need to feel like someone who has money. You need to act like someone who has money. And here is where most people fail. They try to do this intellectually. They try to fake it. But the universe doesn't respond to what you think. It responds to what you feel. So it's no use affirming you're rich while you feel panic every time you look at your bank statement. It's no use visualizing abundance while you feel fear, anxiety, and despair. You must genuinely change how you feel about money, about your situation, about your future. And how do you do that? Gratitude. This is the most powerful tool to change your vibration instantly.
because it is impossible to feel gratitude and fear at the same time. It is impossible to feel gratitude and scarcity at the same time. So every time you catch yourself in a spiral and negative thoughts about money, stop and find something to be grateful for. It can be small. It can be that you have a roof over your head, that you have food, that you have your health. It can simply be that you are alive, that you have another day to create the reality you desire. The more you practice gratitude, the more things appear for you to be grateful for. It's magical. It's as if the universe says, "Oh, you like that? Let me give you more." And suddenly, you are in an upward spiral instead of a downward one. You are raising your vibration. You are tuning in to the frequency of abundance. And when that happens, things that once seemed impossible start occurring naturally. Napoleon Hill spoke of something called the transmutation of energy. The idea is that you can take any energy, including negative energy like frustration, anger, or fear, and transmute it into creative energy, into productive force, into energy that propels you forward instead of paralyzing you. And you know when this is most important? When things aren't going your way, when you face obstacles, when you have setbacks, because that is exactly when you have the greatest opportunity for growth. Most people, when they hit an obstacle, quit. They see it as a sign it wasn't meant to be. They interpret it as the universe saying, "No."
But the people who manifest real wealth, they see obstacles as tests, as opportunities to prove how much they want it, as chances to develop new skills, make new connections, and discover new paths. They transmute the frustration of the obstacle into a fierce determination to overcome it. And every obstacle overcome strengthens your faith, increases your confidence, and elevates your vibration. So here is a question. What obstacle in your financial life have you been seeing as a block when it is actually a test? What challenge have you been avoiding? What closed door do you need to stop trying to force open and start looking for the window that is opened instead? Because trust me, there is always a window. There is always another way. The universe always provides, but you must be willing to let go of the path you planned and trust the path that is being revealed. And this brings us to the concept of conscious detachment. One of the greatest paradoxes of manifestation is that you need to want something intensely, but simultaneously be detached from the outcome. You need to work with all your energy toward a goal, but be at peace if it doesn't manifest exactly as you imagined. I know this sounds confusing, but let me explain. When you are attached, when you need something to happen in a specific way, in a specific time, you create resistance. You create tension. You create an energy of lack, and that energy repels. But when you are detached, when you trust that the universe will deliver what is best for you at the right time, you relax. You open up. You allow. And paradoxically, things flow to you more easily. So yes, work hard. Yes, act with purpose. Yes, pursue your goals with passion. But at the same time, trust. Let go. Allow the universe to do its part, because you are not in control of everything. You cannot force the river to flow faster, but you can choose to flow with it instead of swimming against the current. So what is that one thing you will do differently starting today? What is that one pattern you will break? What is that new action you will take? Share your decision in the comments right now. Because when you publicly declare your intention, when you put your decision into words, you activate the power of commitment. You turn a vague thought into a real promise. And let me give you a few practical suggestions, concrete actions you can start today. 1. Create an invisible council of advisors. Choose 5 people you admire, living or dead, personal or historical. It could be Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, a mentor, a historical leader.
Every night before sleep, visualize these 5 people around you, advising you, guiding you, lending you their wisdom. It seems simple, but this programs your subconscious in powerful ways. 2. Create a morning ritual of auto-suggestion. Before you look at your phone, before you check social media, before you consume any eternal information, spend at least 5 minutes feeding your mind with the reality you want to create. Read affirmations you've written, visualize your ideal life, or simply sit in silence and feel anticipatory gratitude for the abundance coming your way. 5 minutes every day without exception. This changes everything. 3. Practice going the extra mile in one concrete thing today. Choose one area and deliver more value than expected. If you have a job, stay 15 minutes late to make someone's tomorrow easier. If you have a business, surprise a client with something extra. If you're job hunting, instead of just sending a resume, send a detailed analysis of how you can add value to that company. Show the universe you are someone who gives more than you receive, and watch as doors begin to open. 4. Start a synchronicity journal. Every day, write down at least 3 things that happened that felt like more than coincidence. It can be small. You thought of someone and they messaged you. You needed information and someone mentioned it. You had a doubt about a decision and saw a sign that gave you clarity. When you start paying attention to these and documenting them, you strengthen your connection to the universe. You become more sensitive to the guidance that is always available. And this is perhaps the most important. Consciously choose who you spend time with and what you consume. Remember the mastermind alliance. If you spend time with people who complain, who blame, who live in scarcity, it will pull your vibration down. No matter how much you study, if you're constantly exposed to scarcity energy, it will be a constant struggle. So be selective. Spend time with people who elevate you. If you don't have these people physically around you, create this alliance virtually. Watch videos that raise your consciousness. Read books that expand your mind. Listen to podcasts that inspire you. Make this channel part of your daily mastermind alliance. And speaking of which, if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Click that button, ring the bell, because I post new content regularly, and each video is another piece of the puzzle for your transformation. If you want to go even deeper, if you want access to exclusive content, advanced techniques, and closer support, consider becoming a channel member. When you invest in your growth, when you put real energy into it, you accelerate your transformation exponentially. Now let me talk about the most powerful distinction Earl Nightingale made. It's the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is logical, rational, analytical. It's the part of you listening now, processing information, making decisions. But it controls only about 5% of your behavior. The other 95% is run by your subconscious. And your subconscious isn't logical. It doesn't analyze. It simply executes programs that were installed throughout your life. So you can consciously want wealth. You can consciously study manifestation. You can consciously affirm you are abundant. But if your subconscious is programmed with scarcity, fear, and limitation, it will sabotage you at every turn. And the scary part is, you won't even notice. It will seem like things just don't work out for you. It will seem like bad luck, bad timing. But the truth is, it's your subconscious running the old programs. So how do you reprogram the subconscious? Through repetition and emotion. You cannot convince your subconscious with logic, but you can reprogram it through the consistent repetition of new thoughts charged with emotion. This is why affirmations work, but only if you feel them. This is why visualization works, but only if you genuinely feel the emotions of the reality you're visualizing. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It's automatically charged with positive emotion.
And here is what will liberate you. You don't have to believe it for it to work. You just have to do it. Because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a real and a vividly imagined experience. So every time you visualize your abundant life with emotion, every time you feel gratitude for wealth you don't yet have, every time you act as the person you want to become, you are literally installing new software in your subconscious. And the more you do it, the stronger the program becomes, until eventually it becomes automatic, your new default reality. Napoleon Hill found that all extremely successful people had developed the habit of making decisions quickly and changing them slowly. Most people do the opposite. They take weeks to decide and change their mind at the first obstacle. Do you know the difference? Clarity of purpose. When you have a definite chief aim, when you know exactly what you want and why, decisions become easy. You simply ask, does this bring me closer to my aim or further away? If closer, you do it. If further, you don't. It's that simple. But most people lack this clarity. They say they want wealth, but when you ask why, they don't know, or they give vague answers like to be happy or to be secure. That's not specific enough, not powerful enough to generate the emotional energy needed for transformation. So here is an exercise that will change everything. Grab a piece of paper right now. Seriously, pause the video if you need to, and answer this question with total honesty. Why do you want financial abundance? Don't stop at the first answer. Keep asking why until you get to the deepest reason, until you hit the truth that makes your eyes well up, because that is where your true power lies. Maybe it's because you want to give your children a life you never had. Maybe it's to honor your parents' sacrifices. Maybe it's because you have a mission, a purpose you were born to fulfill that requires resources. Maybe it's to prove to yourself that you are capable, that you are not limited by your birth circumstances. Whatever it is, find that deep truth. Because when you connect to it, when you remember it every single day, you become unstoppable. And now in these final moments, I want to talk about the one thing that separates the people who transform their lives from those who just dream. The difference is simple. Action. Knowledge without action is delusion. You can watch every video, read every book, take every course, but if you don't act, if you don't apply, if you don't step out of your comfort zone and do something different, nothing changes. Absolutely nothing. Earl Nightingale said, "The greatest difference between successful and unsuccessful people is that successful people are willing to do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. They do what is uncomfortable. They do what is frightening. They do what seems impossible, and they do it consistently every day until the impossible becomes inevitable." So here is my challenge to you. Don't let this be just another video you watched and forgot. Don't let this energy, this impulse you're feeling right now dissipate. Choose one thing, one single thing you will do differently starting today. It could be waking up earlier for your morning ritual. It could be starting that project you've postponed. It could be having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. It could be investing in yourself in a way that scares you. Whatever it is, choose something and do it today. Not tomorrow, not on Monday, today. Because here is the truth. This found you now for a reason. It wasn't chance. It wasn't a coincidence. You are reading this because you are ready, because it is your time, because the universe is saying yes right now. But the universe is also waiting for you to say yes back. It's waiting for you to act. It's waiting for you to take the step. And when you do, when you act in faith, the universe will move mountains to meet you halfway. So let me ask you one final question. A year from now, when you look back, do you want to remember this moment as the day everything began to change?
or as just another day you watched, agreed, got excited, but did nothing different. The choice is yours. It always has been, and it always will be. And if you truly want transformation, if you are committed to this journey, here is what I want you to do. 1. Share this with someone who needs to hear this message, because when you share, when you become the channel for this message to reach another person, you strengthen your own understanding. You anchor these principles deeper within you. 2. Tell me in the comments, what was the deepest revelation you had while watching this? What was the moment something clicked? What teaching made you see your situation in a completely new light? Write it down, because when you put it into words, you turn vague thought into clear understanding. Plus, I read every comment, and your revelation could inspire others on the same journey. 3. If you aren't subscribed yet, subscribe now, because this is only the beginning. There is so much more knowledge, so many more techniques, so much more transformation waiting for you. And if you want closer support, if you want to be part of a community of people committed to abundance, consider becoming a channel member. When you invest in you, the universe invests in you back. Always. And remember, this isn't about getting rich overnight. It's not about magic manifestation. It's about real transformation. It's about you becoming the person who naturally attracts and maintains abundance. It's about you developing the mindset, the habits, the vibration of someone who lives in prosperity. And when you do that, when you embody these principles, when you live these teachings, the external wealth becomes merely the reflection of the internal wealth you have cultivated. You are ready. You always have been, but now you know. Now you see. Now it is your time to act. The universe is waiting, your abundance is waiting, your best life is waiting. And it all starts with a decision. One definitive, irrevocable decision that you will no longer accept less than you deserve, that you are worthy of abundance, that you will do whatever it takes to manifest the reality you were born to live.
So go, act, transform. And a year from now, you will thank yourself for taking this step today. I believe in you. The universe believes in you. Now you only need to believe in you too. Your time has come. Welcome to your new reality.